Thank you. Did you start the video?
Let me grab that real quick.
You said I could use a little kink.
Yep.
That's what she said.
That's what I said.
Happy Christmas, everyone.
I was channeling Trisha.
Merry
Meowy Christmas.
Meowy Christmas.
Y'all.
We are so in the spirit right now. Thus the Christmas shirts.
Look at my little baby.
I know. Mine says, we hiss you a meowy catmas. How good is that? Okay, guys.
What I want to know is this.
I did not know it did that.
Are you kidding me? Why do you think it had this big hump like
I thought
a third breast?
Yeah, well, I thought like the stitching around. I didn't see the hump. I just saw the stitching, and I was like, did they mess that up? Oh,
the best ever. Hey, Dana. Hey,
guys.
Tina, Marissa, Robin, Ann.
Hey,
Becky, Alicia.
Becky, I'm glad you were here. We were just talking about you on the VIP live and about how we will this week be cracking that bottle of wine that you gave us many moons ago.
Because we're going to be celebrating.
Because we got something to celebrate. So we're going to talk about it a little bit today because
look at Jack. The Quacker Jack. Dana, so we have decided that Quacker Jack, yes, is your most appropriate name. Get up here, my love. You get up here.
Yes, Quacker Jack, because you will hear a lot of quackering.
Yes.
Quacking.
Hey, Kelly. Can't wait for the news. Oh, I know, Becky. We can't share it here because it is.
No, but we just shared it on our live, and you did not come. We missed you, though.
We did miss you, and we mentioned it.
We're going to go ahead and start our 50th episode. This is our 50th episode of Back in the Closet with the Two Crazy Cat Ladies. So get ready for it. Let's do it.
Let's roll. Jack, you ready? Are you ready, baby?
He's purring so hard.
I know. He's my boy.
So precious. Welcome to episode number 0050 of Back in the Closet with the Two Crazy Cat Ladies. It's number 50.
Number 50. I'm 50.
Anybody? 50.
Anybody know what that's from? Little SNL. I'm 50. I can kick. I can run the town. I don't know what she said. I only got that far. I'm 50.
I know. I don't know. No idea. But
Jack,
guys, I think this is kind of a milestone. I feel like we're hitting a lot of milestones.
It is a milestone. And this is our last podcast before a big change.
A big change that's happening. Yeah. Guys, we're really excited. So today, one of the things we want to talk about, so let me just back it up. What we did was this weekend was fantastic. We are in the Christmas spirit. We are wearing Christmas sweaters today. We spent all day yesterday, which was today's Sunday. If you guys are listening to this is today's Sunday. And yesterday on Saturday, we spent the entire day just decorating the house for Christmas. It's the first time.
Into our Christmas cheer.
The first time in years that we have not been stressed out about the holidays. And that led us to a conversation talking about, just like so many blessings that we've had over this past in 2020. And I know that, everybody, like, it's funny because 2020 is a shit show. We get it. Like, there's been so much that's happened. So much it's just craziness
one surprise after another.
Right. And from, if you're looking at it through a certain lens, it definitely looks negative. Right. But if you're looking at it through another lens, which we were looking at it yesterday as, it has been so amazing.
Oh my God.
This year has been so amazing. There's so much
silver lining.
We can call it silver lining. We can call it absolute blessings. Whatever works best for you. But we have been blessed in 2020 for sure. Mostly from all of you guys. But we're right. We started our podcast at the end of 2019.
Right.
We took a little break because we were like, we're really suck at this. We don't really know what to do. And then we started back at the beginning of this year, and then COVID hit, and it's given us a lot of changes. It's also given us a lot of material to talk about.
That's true. That's true.
You
if you're listening on the podcast, I just have to give a shout out to our new subscriber on YouTube, listening from Amsterdam. Puko's porch.
Oh,
cheers
yay.
and blessings to
Cheers.
you.
And thank you so much for the subscribe button.
And Jana's here. Jana, our sweet VIP.
Yes. So
we always miss you, darling.
Yeah. So for those of you guys on the podcast, if you guys ever want to catch us live, this podcast is recorded live on YouTube, on our YouTube channel.
It's so fun.
Two Crazy Cat Ladies.
It's so fun. To me, it adds a little extra energy to the podcast because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
And I know we don't catch every comment on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because that was a podcast.
Yeah, because this podcast we're supposed to be talking to each other, not everybody else. But
right, you guys.
Yeah, it's been.
But 2020 has been huge, and I want to dial it back a little bit to the very beginning of March. Do you remember? Like for a reminder of the perspective, it was freak out time. Do you see my boy? If you guys are on the podcast, you guys should know that our Quacker Jack, our little monster man, our sweet boy, is in a lovey mood, and he's sitting.
He's purring his face off and sitting on
his face off.
on your
So
lap.
You might hear him.
Yeah.
But remember when all of this started, the COVID?
The
COVID. First, it was like travel restrictions, and then there was. I remember big moments for me.
And of course, it had to become political, so everybody had to fight about it. It was always
right? It was an election.
It's always somebody's fault.
Right. But then they canceled March Madness, and it was like, what?
That was our first. Like, are you kidding me?
Like something big is going on.
Yeah, because we were like,
should we be worried? Like this is very.
March Madness is one of the biggest weekends in Las Vegas, guys. That's where we live.
Oh,
and it is like
huge,
like literally so huge. Like
millions
and millions and
of
millions
people. The draft was supposed to be in Vegas this year, in the Bellagio fountain.
Yeah,
it was going to be epic.
It was. They laid it out. It was going to be
and
so amazing.
Canceling these things left and right, and then came the shutdown. And I remember there being just a very large spirit of fear, if you will. It's like, do we go get
I heard
gallons of water?
I don't even know if I had heard about COVID. Maybe I heard about something, but it was just like, whatever. There's always something crazy going on, right? But I remember I was at the market and you called me and you said, hey, grab as much toilet paper and paper towels as you can because they're going to be shutting down. They're going to be out soon. And I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, no, for real. Like,
no, I said for real. There's like, listen.
There's a pandemic about to happen.
Remember the toilet paper jokes back in the day?
Yeah.
It was crazy. But we were literally almost out. And we were
happening again.
We were out of paper towels. Thank God. Lindsay actually found some online and shipped them to us.
Yeah.
It was like Christmas. It just saved us. But Jay's at the market.
Saved us first world problems. We were out of paper towels.
Total first world problems. But I remember you were going to the market and you did not know everything that was going on in the world. Mm-mm. And I said, if
I tried to
you happen to see toilet paper there, grab a couple rolls. And she was like, why? Because we had like a 4-pack at home. That'll last us a week and a half.
We never bought 4-packs. No, I was like, we just got toilet paper. It was always a 9-pack or a 12-pack.
So she's there. And I said, she was like, I don't think we need toilet paper. I'll just grab it if you see it. And the next thing I get from her, like 15 minutes later, is this picture of the shelves completely empty. Do you guys remember this?
That was my freak out moment. I'm like, oh my God, you're for real. Like, you're for real. Like, this is really happening? Or maybe people are just freaking out because the news is making it into this big thing. And then they canceled March Madness. And then they canceled NFL draft.
So just to bring back that whole like feeling of, oh my God, what is happening? The fear of it. There was so much fear. Like, do we need to stock up on water? Do we need to stock up on shotguns? Like, what do we need to do? What is happening right now? They shut down all of Nevada.
Our friends were like, you need to get a gun.
Right. Like the world's about to go crazy. It's about to be the end of the world. And then my job shut down and gave me the option to work from home. And there was this little light bulb that went off because they said, we're shutting down for 2 weeks. It was the 14 days to flatten the curve thing. Do you remember all this stuff? How crazy now looking back. And we were like, oh my God, I get to work from home for 2 weeks.
And we said, what an opportunity.
What can we do?
What an opportunity that is. You're going to be home for 2 weeks. Do you know what we might be, how many more people that we can talk to, get in touch with, get in front of, that we can actually, connect with?
And it really was.
We could start doing a live in the afternoons during the day.
I could take a lunch break and we could go live and connect because everyone was. everyone was scared and wondering what was going on.
Yep.
And it was just a great way to
Bring
connect
some
with the community.
yeah.
And try to,
brings a little bit of peace in the chaos, because, I mean, it's not that we're full of peace, but we always are looking for peace.
Always.
And we're always looking for a silver lining.
Always looking
it's
for the bright side.
I mean, it's just, for us, it's the perspective that we need in order to continue functioning correctly.
But there was a mindset that shifted at that time, and especially when the shutdown got extended to a month, and now here we are at the end of November, and I'm still working from home. And it's just this, there was a mindset that shifted into, what can we do? What is the opportunity in this crazy circumstance? And it really shifted how we approached every day. And Lindsay knows all about this, because Lindsay's been a part of it almost since the beginning of it. Yep. But really brainstorming.
Thank God for a Lindsay.
Really brainstorming the ways that we could take this passion to the next level.
Yeah.
And I think lives
Speaking
were a big
of
part
Lindsay,
of it.
Lindsay is also a huge blessing that wouldn't have happened if not for COVID-19.
Yeah.
Lindsay had a job. She's in the same job for 9 years. She was, doing well. I mean, maybe she didn't like her job, but she was doing well. And if it weren't for 2020, if it weren't for quarantine, if it weren't for COVID-19, then she'd still be doing that.
It's hard to leave
still
this
be
stuff.
Working.
It's hard to, like shifting your comfort zone is always going to be difficult. But you take something like COVID, which really turned everyone's world upside down in so many ways.
Yeah.
To try to figure out what's going to float in this situation was a very crazy blessing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, even though I know we've talked on podcasts before about how, like, since you're home, you could probably, because I've always been working a full-time job at home, but I'm still doing the dishes, and I'm still doing the laundry, and I'm still doing all the things that needs to be done at home. And I'm still running the business, and I'm still doing all these things. Like, why can't you, working from home, start contributing to that? And honestly, the pieces it didn't meet my expectations of what you might be able to multitask. But that's fine, because you're just not a multitasker, right? But you do still multitask on many things that are super helpful. We haven't back ordered a product since the beginning of this year.
I know.
And I could not keep up with inventory. It was the worst thing.
Well, it's hard when you're keeping up with customer service and website maintenance and
everything else. I was just like, I can't. And then it would be like, oh,
well, I mean, I think that because even I thought that I was going to be able to contribute more to what our mission is when I was going to be working from home, right? But my job is a little more demanding than
for sure.
So
but
there are a
but
few
you've
things
still
that I
been
can
able to-
multitask.
Yeah.
There are some things that I can do while making sure that I'm not dropping any balls on the day job.
Yeah.
And that has been helpful. I think that it's
You hear that bird?
Is that a bird?
We have our windows open in our bedroom.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I think that it's been interesting to try to find the balance. Like you said, it didn't meet expectation. There was this kind of a
yay, we get
high
to work
rebound
together.
low of, oh, this is not as awesome as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And then trying to figure out really where we both.
But then realizing that it's still awesome.
It is still awesome.
That it is still awesome, even though it's not as much as I was like hoping, which I should never have expectations anyway. That's wrong for me.
Well, no, but it was a hugely exciting time.
It was.
In that regard, that I was actually going to get to be home and be helpful because.
And you have been home and been helpful.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more responsibility that you've taken on with our company, which I think is fantastic. And it's morphed into this huge thing that we're about to launch next week, guys. If you're listening to this podcast this week, if you're listening to this podcast next week, then
you're going to know the news by then.
You're already going to know the news. Next podcast, we will be telling you guys. We'll be telling you guys about it, because this week is going to be the biggest week of history. Our history. Yeah.
But let's talk about some of the other blessings, because I feel like another thing that
wouldn't have been possible. We wouldn't have even thought about this if it weren't for COVID.
This
about what we're about to do, this
pivotal moment,
big thing that we're about to do.
We wouldn't have thought about it. And in fact, we didn't. We have to, I don't know if Jody is here, but Jody thought about it. And
you know what? That probably has a lot to do with COVID-19 too, because she was also working from home. She was also, more available and more tuned in. And so, yeah.
But here's I do want to say this about Jody though too, and I think that this is something that's so beautiful about most everyone.
Jody's one of our VIPs. If you guys,
Jody is one of our VIPs. Yeah. But what I love about this community
is a beautiful business mentor.
She's a beautiful business mentor,
and just a beautiful human.
In perfectly with the mentality that so many in our community have, which is that empathy and that what can I do to help?
Yeah.
I
think that's whether it's parents just in general.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I mean,
definitely are.
We've never met a cat person that is also a bad human. You know what I mean? I don't think they go together. So all cat people that we've met are really good humans, and they're always looking for ways that they can either be supportive, encouraging, inspiring, whatever it may be. And Jody is one of those people. So and maybe it was COVID that reached out, but she intentionally looks at ways that she can help build up women's business, like help other women along the way. And
which
I
is
just
feel like, thing.
Yeah, I just feel like, wow, this is such a pivotal moment for us. Really, this part of our journey was precipitated by that conversation with Jody.
Yeah.
And I know that she said, hey, look at this shiny ball that could be possible. And we took that ball and we ran with it, right?
Yeah.
She said, I thought of it, but you did it. And I know that there's action required and growth. And that is what's happening now.
And the action was made possible by COVID-19. Like literally so much of it. I would have personally just dropped the ball if I didn't have Adrienne to be like, hey, can I, or me to like bounce things off of you and be like, hey, can you check this? Do you like this? What do you think about this? Like we decided everything together. We did all of this together. It wasn't, and up until COVID-19, I was doing everything on my own. I was making all those decisions on my own. And I was telling you about it later or not even telling you about it.
And then I never even heard about.
Right. Yeah. I would tell you like after the fact, like, oh, by the way, we started this affiliate program and I bought this thing and, like all this stuff. But now it's like we're able to work, make these decisions together. At least
be able to communicate
and build,
much better.
Build the business to this next level, which this next level is like so.
This is huge.
Big. It's so.
We were talking on Q&A Wednesday. Someone asked us any advice for entrepreneurs, and I was thinking about how one of the biggest things that we've learned on this journey is making sure. Well, just being an entrepreneur. This is long time in the making.
Right.
Is really being intimate with what's motivating you. And knowing that whatever hardships or challenges come, that it can't pollute that motivation and it's not going to deter you from your goals.
Right.
And how this situation is like
excuse me.
It's just such I'm not even thinking of the word. It's like that motivation on steroids, because that mentality shift at the beginning of COVID, going from all this stuff to be scared about to just that little thing of, I'm going to be able to be working from home.
Yeah.
What can we do?
We're locked in the house.
This crazy opportunity.
We can't go hang out. We can't go to bars. We can't go to
restaurants. Let's talk about some of those peripheral blessings.
And again, like that even is, I know a lot of us, and I've been guilty of this as well, where I look at that as like a negative thing. Like, oh, we don't get to go out to bars anymore. Or we don't get to go out and, just have like our night out of, during the week, which getting out of the house for me was very important prior to COVID-19. It was always like we have to, literally we got to like get out. I have to get out of the house because I work in the house. And if I work in the house, then I'm always working if I'm in the house.
Well, here's a little quick dynamic. I am a total introvert. COVID is kind of like a dream come true. I can't go outside. I can't hang out with anybody. I do genuinely love people. I'm a people person introvert, but I very much I could live forever in my house and deal with the elements. Jae but I was the one going to work for 50, 60 hours at the office every week. and Jae is working from home, and she is the extrovert. So we back in 2019, in beginning of 2019, we had this like sit down conversation where Jae said, "Listen, I'm going to need to get out of the house at least once a week." So we did. We turned Friday nights was our one night really at that time that we could turn into a date night kind of where
which we
would
slacked
not,
on a lot because it was
we
always
did
like
slack on
Sunday.
a lot. And sometimes we slacked on it because of money. Sometimes we slacked on it because of
Just didn't
work, whatever it may be. But we made a concerted effort to get out of the house once a week. And that once a week turned out to be pretty expensive.
And we didn't know it until COVID-19 hit. And then all of a sudden when we're quarantined, we're like, wow, we have a lot more money than we did. What's going on? And it's those social events, whether it's us, just the two of us going out, or whether we go out like on a Saturday night with friends. Like we were scheduling these things so that we could have certain times to still have a social life, because I think that's important for us. But at the same time, we didn't realize, like, I mean, goodness, you think about how many times, goodness me. You think about how many times we're like out with, friends, and we're like, we got this round. Yeah, we got this. Oh, how about we pick up the tab like $200-$300 later. And it's like, that was a great night.
Awesome. That was a $357 night.
Right. And then, but we didn't think about that. I mean, maybe it crossed our minds at the end of the night or something, but we weren't like, we were like, okay, that's fine. But then, it was always like an overdraft fee or like oh my God. And now, like, we're not paying for gas. I mean, obviously we're paying for gas, but we don't have to use a lot of gas. So the gas bill's gone down a lot.
But another blessing in it, I think, has been just that change in perspective of, and maybe it was kind of precipitated by the fear, but really taking a look at what matters. Yes, what matters are our babies. That, the motivation of recognizing that everyone's world shifted and what's going on with all the companion animals.
Yeah.
I felt like that was a big motivator for us going live every day.
It was.
Really just making sure people understood that how we are
and a lot
responding
of people are
to this
single with
has
their
an
cats,
impact, right?
And
has
at
impact
home,
on our
and
animals.
it's like, hey, maybe we can like hang out for a little bit, and take it so you're not just like kind of feeling alone, because we're all going through this. So.
And it also made us not reconnect, but more regularly connect with our families.
Yeah.
I mean, we made a commitment at the beginning of COVID to turn our Thursday nights into family nights.
Zoom night.
And we'll get on with our families, with the exception of very few that have had to be canceled for whatever reason. It's more regular communication
than we've ever had with our families.
We've ever had.
Yeah.
It's since we've moved out to Vegas.
Yeah.
15 years ago.
For me, ever.
For you, ever.
Ever in my life.
For sure.
I'm spending more time with my family. Yeah.
But I think it makes you look at what matters.
Yeah.
And what means something, and putting, everyone keeps thinking this COVID thing is a temporary, and it is temporary. I firmly believe someday COVID will disappear.
Oh, for sure.
Or be handled in whatever way. But in the interim, it makes you evaluate the things that are important, reprioritizing life and spending time with,
and making the most of what you have.
The people. Yeah.
Yeah. So like literally probably, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, I just had this, like, how I talk to myself.
She really does, you guys.
I do.
She will have and I'll be like, what are you
saying?
I
have entire deep conversations with myself. Yeah. Sometimes it's in my head. Oftentimes it's out loud, but nobody's around. Like, I'm just, talking. But I was thinking about, if we were to ask everyone, what is the most, I don't remember what led to this thought process, but if you had, like, what is the one thing, name one thing that you have that is the most valuable to you. Go.
A material possession?
One thing you have. Doesn't have to be material.
My family.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about my nuclear family. I'm talking about you and the cats. What was the question again?
And name one thing that you have that is the most valuable to you. Like, what is the most valuable thing you have? And for me, it was time.
Okay.
we can have money, we can not have money, we can have, I love our cats, but if we have no time to spend with them, then it's not worth it for them or us. Like the money, like if you don't have time, like time is
the most valuable
thing. And time is like but of the essence. Time's of the essence. Time is kind of an illusion in many, in many ways, but it is, and what 2020 has given us is more time. It's given us more time to connect. It's given us more time to connect with our beautiful, right? I 3 weeks ago, like I was just thinking, like, I think I was making the bed or doing laundry.
And you waited 3 weeks to tell me you had this profound
I told
moment.
you just weren't there. I think I was having a conversation with you. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, time is so valuable. And sometimes, I'm just thinking that the one thing that is really that COVID has really given us is time, more time with our cats, more time with our beautiful community, more time with our family, more time. Like it's literally given us time.
Yeah.
And I think that is like, thank you, COVID-19, for that.
There is. Well, and I love the fact that because I remember the beginning of this and my perspective being so negative and really being full of fear.
Yeah.
And I feel like and I know that we've talked to a number of people that they're unable to get out of that perspective.
Right.
And that breaks my heart because I understand, it's very difficult to,
when you lose your job and all of your funds are gone, and now now you're scared of getting sick, or you do have COVID, or you get COVID. I mean, I talked to a lady who lost her husband to COVID. She and her husband both had COVID. She lost her husband to COVID. She's unemployed, doesn't have any, it's a lot more difficult to see the silver lining in that perspective.
Right, and even looking at, and I know that was something that you spoke with, but people in our personal lives that work in this, we're in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a service industry driven existence.
Yep.
That's
how I got here.
That is what Vegas is.
Yeah.
So a lot of our friends in the service industry here are struggling. Many of them are smart and they have put, money away, and they've taken whatever benefits.
Not that you're dumb if you haven't.
Well, no, smart as in they've always kind of, in the service industry, a lot of people work under the radar. So they kind of squirrel money away for a rainy day or what if their bar shuts down?
Yeah.
So I know that a lot of people have kind of made a little nest egg, but we're, so far into this, it's hard to make a nest egg last that long. Just looking at a lot of the people that are truly suffering on the level of having a job that pays them enough to feed their family, to feed their cats, to do those things. I think it's such a great reminder. And I know that this is what we talked about a lot at the beginning, is how important it is for all of us to check on our friends and check on our neighbors that may not be as blessed in a way. We're both able to work from home, but it's still important to check on those people in our lives that may be living alone, that may not have financial support or food or whatever.
Maybe at high risk and
like that can't go out and still will not go out for just basic groceries needs. And there's so many tools available for all of us to still be able to check on our friends and family and neighbors.
And thank God. I mean, thank
social
God
media is even next door.
Thank God for technology.
Yes.
Like Zoom, like all of these things that if it were 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, but like back, when we were youngins, if it were, none of this was available.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't be able to do all the things and still connect with people and still, be able to, converse with people.
I do have to say that and I know so many people in this community already do this. They already they think about their sphere of influence and who the people are in their lives that they can impact. And they are reaching out and they're doing what they can and helping whatever. Maybe it's food, maybe it's money, maybe it's cat food, maybe it's litter, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But it does remind me that the goodness of humankind, still does exist.
Oh,
And
yeah.
even when there's no technology, it reminds me when my family had to move to Tennessee, and we were from Michigan, and we were not scared of snow. And in 1993, they had the storm of 93 in Tennessee. But we didn't realize that a snowstorm in Tennessee was way different than a snowstorm in Michigan. So we lived an hour from the nearest town. Our road was 3 miles long. Trees were down. We couldn't get out. We thought, well, we know how to drive in the snow. That's fine. We're going to be fine. No, you can't drive in the snow if there are trees down, if there is no electricity, if you can't get out, you're stuck there. So we weren't worried about the snow coming to Tennessee. And here we are for 18 hours. We had no electricity, which meant everything was running on a well. We had no water. We had no phone. We had no heat. We had nothing. We hadn't stocked up on food because we were ignorant Yankees and didn't realize that trees were going to be falling down because they'd never experienced snow. And 18 hours in, our awesome Southern friends who lived a mile down that road walked to our house with a Coleman stove, ingredients for chili, and a couple little propane heaters. We were all starving in my parents' bedroom, just trying to keep body heat, melting snow to
you
flush
and your
toilets.
4 brothers and mom and dad.
Yep. And they show up with everything that we needed to get through the next couple days. And the goodness of humankind, just had they not been thinking about their sphere of influence and realized they were ignorant Yankees living a mile and a half down the road, they would not have put on their snow boots and walked with all of the supplies that we needed to get through. And this is before cell phones too. That wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
But it really.
But I mean, and that is happening right now.
It's the same energy now.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like so many people are stepping forward. So many people are doing everything they can and to share when they realize that hey, we have toilet paper. You don't? Here you go. Here's some. Hey, we've got some extra funds. I'm sorry you're not. You're out of work right now. How about we help you with this? Or how about we bring you some food? Or how about we, it's happening all over. I know the media doesn't like to show it because they want to show only the negativity that's happening in the world. But there is so much positivity and so many inspiring things that are happening right now that we should be aware
of. And that's
think.
just, I mean, I know that we are, wow, this 33 minutes just flew by.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a great reminder. I know that we have a lot of exciting things coming up, and that always helps to clear the perspective and be more positive. But I think it is a really good reminder, especially as this second spike is hitting all over the place, to do what we can to help each other and to think about what the silver lining, to intentionally evaluate what the silver lining is in our own lives. And from that, G.K. Chesterton, I know we talk about him all the time. G.K. Chesterton says the highest form of thought, gratitude, is the highest form of thought. So even if we are suffering or struggling with certain things, if there are a few things that we can find to be genuinely grateful for, it lifts our perspective, and maybe from whatever that abundance of gratitude is, we can help those around us and get through this crazy 2020.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I agree. And giving is oftentimes, and I want to say all the time, in some realm at least, more of a blessing to the giver than the givee.
Oh, I like that. I agree with that.
It's like forgiving somebody too. It's more for the person forgiving than the person being forgiven. It actually is better for, right? So
it's a mysterious human dynamic, I think, because to be forgiven is an incredible experience, but also to do the forgiving and be able to let go is also,
even a bigger,
and same with giving. To receive something in a time of need is
wonderful,
an incredible experience.
like you and your family,
right?
Yeah,
but to be able to give to someone in need is also just it's a mysterious thing we humans
it
have.
really is.
That
It
is
is
a beautiful thing.
But yeah, one more blessing of 2020.
Tell me.
We set up Christmas decorations yesterday.
Yes, we did.
Jack and Madison, first Christmas ever.
First Christmas.
They
for
were
our
born
little
in
ones.
March. This is their very first Christmas. We got to see them just yesterday, see their first Christmas tree and their second Christmas tree and their third Christmas tree, because we do Christmas up this year.
But there, I mean, there's a little one, a medium one, and then a big one.
Yeah.
So we have different size Christmas trees.
Correct. Yeah. But to see them see their first fire when we started the fireplace, like all
New
of these
experiences.
new like firsts, I think is just so beautiful and exciting, and I love it.
Yeah, and this year there's something every holiday. It seems like it's very busy. There's travel. Last year you were leaving the day after Christmas to go to Australia.
Yeah.
There was so much busyness going on, and this year, while it's hard, we were supposed to be in Knoxville right now,
Yep.
spending the week with my family, our family in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is, I haven't seen my family. We haven't seen them in 2 years.
Other than through Zoom.
We've got new nieces. We've got a new niece to meet, 2 new nieces to meet.
Yep.
So that's tough. But at the same time, there is so much to look for. We actually have this Christmas that is going to be
this whole holiday season.
Yeah, we have this excitement coming up for Thanksgiving week, which is going to be such an experience. And
I mean, it's a change. Like, guys, it is a massive change for us, and the change is so good, and it is. It's going to be. It's just big. It's the biggest announcement, and I know I'm teasing it, and we can't tell you anything about it, but it is like the biggest thing of our history as the Two Crazy Cat Ladies, and it's happening this week. So if you guys are listening this week, stay tuned. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. It's going to be all those places.
Yep.
Yeah, and I guess that
yeah. Lindsay said such a tease. It's so true.
I love being a tease.
Jenny said it breaks my heart the kids only come around to pick up their birthday checks. I told her to burn her checkbook. LOL. That's heartbreaking. Oh, you guys, there is something about there are people. I'm sorry, but there are people that you're going to run into all the time that feel entitled or that are selfish or that have that mentality that is more just about them and what they can get out of something.
Oh, there's always those people, and they're just they're sad, or they haven't experienced what it feels like to be not that, maybe.
Lee donated an entire stimulus check.
Oh, I love that.
The kinds of things when you recognize that you're living in abundance, to realize, or that there is a piece of your life that is abundant. Maybe it's something as simple as you decided to switch litters. What are you going to do with that extra bag of litter that you have?
Yeah.
Right? There's so much that we can give and help each other and one another. I think that Lee, that is amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing. I'm also just so grateful that we're surrounded by such amazing people.
Yeah, a lot of our perspective I do blame on our community.
Yeah.
Because you guys surround us with positivity, with support, with encouragement,
with love.
Watching how you guys treat each other when we're going through hard times or when we're celebrating something is just such a reminder that the world is full of beautiful people and that humankind, the kindness of humans, still exists.
Yeah.
Mainly here in our community, apparently.
Yeah, I think so. That's where you guys are. So that's gonna wrap up this episode. Just
find your silver lining, count your beautiful blessings.
Yeah. Every day, count your blessings. Find a blessing. There is always something to be grateful for.
And share
always,
it if you
even in the midst of chaos and turmoil, there's always something to be grateful for. So try to find that, count that, put that in your little blessing jar, and remember that, we're all in this together.
Dana said, yeah, we are pretty awesome. Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Dana
you
has
are.
COVID right now, you guys. Sorry
Dana
to out
has
you.
COVID, and
So
is
feel
like,
free to send her some good,
is hanging out. Is hanging
good
out with
energy
us.
and prayers for a quick recovery.
So we
I
love you
so
guys.
much.
We love you guys so much. And we will see you next week.
Yeah.
For,
We love you guys.
For episode 51.
Oh my God, 51 is going to be so exciting.
We love you guys. Have a great day.
Beep.
I thought you would say something.
I was thinking about it, but then
you like looked at it. Like,
I know. I was like,
oh, there's a hair on the microphone.
Jay always has perfect words.
No,
Oh my God, I love
You're
you guys.
the perfect word girl.
Oh, Lois.
Hi, Lois.
Oh, and Jana. Jana, I love you so much. Oh my God, you guys. Thank you for hanging with us on this one. We have such massive butterflies. Hey, if you are not doing anything, in about 40 minutes, come pop onto the Facebook, and we're gonna have a little to the Facebook. It's like going to the Walmart.
I hope you don't have the
not
COVID.
Really like that. I hope you don't have COVID. Don't. Rona didn't get you.
The Rona.
Damn, Rona.
Anyway,
what is the blessing, Lindsay? Is that a movie? The blessing. What is the blessing? They just keep saying the blessing.
I don't know. We'll have to look that up. But we love you guys so much.
Oh, we love you. Hopefully we'll see you soon.
Mwah, mwah.
If not, we'll see you next week. Mwah. Bye, y'all. Oh, Heather's here.